See, it is Thursday night, 9:31 Eastern Standard Time. Join me by clicking the subscribe button. Thumbs up, thumbs down, do whatever you're going to do.
I know there's a history here. I'd like to get this hearing in today.
I would.
You know, everybody needs to just focus on the relevant facts, okay? I know there's
it smells so
history
good.
here.
I just got out of the shower. Woo! Smells like a fresh wind over here. I bought myself a super chat. It says Jen, blame Eldora Gatchel. Oh boy.
Are you talking up by Sunset Mart?
Sure am.
Up the hill by the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you?
Cheers. Queers.
All right. Who's responsible here? Who's responsible here? Whose house is this?
Yeah, haven't been drinking or anything, right?
No. Okay. Drive careful, okay?
Will do, thank you.
So much has happened in the last couple of days. And Taylor's stomping on that ass over there in Moscow, up to Boise.
Awesome. Yeah, those ones kept walking in the car.
It's Truly's for the win.
Truly's! Nobody wants to talk about this case. I have no idea why. Because it's a fucking shit show. Let's be honest. It's a damn mess. That I was given to. So there was 2 different discs. Okay. They all knew about it. 2 different discs. Sheldon Jeter Jr. Merry Christmas. That's from that case right there.
We're not here to talk about the alcohol stuff, okay?
Okay, yeah.
But this is the second noise complaint we've had here tonight within 2 hours.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
I see noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Like brains, and like if you need a lot of brains, you're gonna be in trouble.
All right. Again, welcome everybody. This is tonight's it's a parody show, so want to make sure that this gets out there to the world, which is tonight's show. If you don't know what a parody means, by all means, record this live, and then I want you to send it to Peter Erblin, Jennifer Drake, or Dana Bose. Any of those 3 people, they love when them panties get twisted. So please record me and go ahead and send it to them. But if you don't know what a parody means, I'm not going to sit here and educate you on that. Now, next up, I want to thank all of you guys. We're going to start a super chat train. And the reason is because when it comes to this case, people are like, Lana, why do you even talk about this case? I talk about this case because of the Idaho 4 case. Do you guys know what the Idaho 4 case is? Where 4 college students were murdered, brutally stabbed to death in their home, right? And I took it upon myself to say, well, let's see what was going on in Idaho. Like, who were these detectives? Who were these police officers? What does this little small campus have any, I don't know, experience in dealing with homicides? Because everything in Idaho seems to be covered up with an overdose. So now, exactly, the links. That's what that is. It's not a pop can. It's like the links. So I said, okay, let me be fair. Jennifer Drake, this one's for you. Let's make sure that the world knows that on March 26th, you reached out to the world. You reached out to the world and said you wanted help getting evidence to be able to take this man, Dan Moore, okay, who you knew murdered your husband in cold blood, and you needed more evidence to convict Dan Moore of the murder because the cops basically fucked you. The cops fucked you. What I mean by that is that the cops ruined it for Jennifer Drake. The cops decided to call Dan Moore into the station and decided to violate his Miranda and get this confession after Dan Moore asked for an attorney 8 times. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Jennifer Drake, from me to you, all I could tell you is that I'd be royally pissed at the police that decided that, hey, we have all this evidence, but we are going to back a man into a corner and violate his Miranda in order for him to say stuff. Like, why would we ever even jeopardize that? If we have the nuts against this guy, why would we ever do that? So for me, Jennifer, I'm reaching out to you to say, have you ever thought about the fact that your anger should be totally at the police who fucked your opportunity to get justice for your husband? Because guess what? Regardless if it's Dan Moore or Schmo or Mimi or Joe Tate, at the end of the day, you're always going to have to deal with this. Like, these police officers violating somebody's Miranda. And if they violated Dan Moore's Miranda, what else do we think that these police officers did up and until that point? Well, I can tell you they probably weren't on the up and up. So this episode is all designed for, hey, you know what? If I'm going to give my time to the Moores and saying, hey, this is everything that you need to use to help you, then I want to do the same thing for Jennifer Drake to say, hey, I'm going to give you everything to help you. Now, you guys could all wonder, why in the world would I ever do this? Because the name of my channel is Truth and Transparency. Truth and Transparency. I think a lot of people miss the whole fucking name of my channel and that it actually means something to me. Now, Jennifer Drake did reach out and ask the world for help. Cheers. Right there, that's why we're cheersing. Alice wonders. She is here because she is wondering what the fuck is up. Thank you. But as I got kindly interrupted by that little shake your booty. I got to give Jennifer the same grace. Like, here you go. It's not Jennifer's fault that the cops fucked the case up. Like, let's be honest. Like, if you're going to be fair about something, Jennifer Drake was not in that interrogation. Jennifer Drake wasn't like, yeah, violate that man's rights. Jennifer Drake doesn't have that type of power, right? Right, Lana. Like, in case you guys are wondering, if I ever have my earbuds in, that means that everything that I say and that is played through this device that I'm live streaming, nobody else can hear it except for me. And that's really kind of important because lawyers in this industry, when they want to like, oh, well, you were saying whatever and everybody could just hear you in your home. No, they can't. I have this in, it's just in my ear. Like, I'm talking to a screen. Nobody's talking back. They're the best children ever. Okay? So please, lawyers out there that don't know dick, now you do. Nobody can hear anything that I'm saying except for the people that are on the opposite end of this. But no, I hear it all. If I want to play something on the screen, I hear it all. It doesn't play through my computer. Just helping educate the uneducated. But Jennifer Drake was not part of this. I'm going to sit in this interrogation and I want you to go ham at Dan Moore and I want you to violate his rights, right? So you have to start where the problem exists in this case, which is with the police. Now, Jennifer Drake came out and said, hey, I want help. I want the public's help, so much so that she offered 10 G's. Here's $10,000 on a billboard. Help me. Help me. Help me. And I'm over here like, baby, I'm with you. I'm trying to help you. Let's do this. I got all these subscribers. Like, we're in Idaho. We are going to fucking solve this shit. We're going to help you, girl. Like, let's do this, right? I'm on the Idaho 4 case. I already know hella shit that these detectives were nothing but dog shit. Fuck yeah, right? I'm here to help Jennifer Drake. Tonight is all about helping Jennifer Drake. You know why? She deserves the same amount of grace. So here I am. Jennifer Drake reaches out. She makes I call it a commercial, but she met with mainstream media. Mainstream media who hasn't even taken the time to put in a motion to say, hey, we want cameras in the courtroom. After Jennifer Drake says to the world, hey, y'all, guess what? We care not just about me and my kids getting justice, but Bonner's Ferry deserves justice. Bonner, Boundary County, that is where Bonner Ferry is. And then you have Bonner County, which is where Sandpoint is. And then Brian worked in Hayden, so that's CUNY County. So Jennifer Drake saying that, hey, all of these counties, all of these citizens deserve just as much justice as we as a family deserve. And I agree with her. They need the truth. Justice comes from the truth. And how do you get that? Well, you get the truth from transparency, which comes from, okay, hey, let's put a motion in so that we can live stream this trial so that everybody out there in Idaho, in northern Idaho, can see this shit show, right? Y'all tried to fuck with, I'm speaking as I was Jennifer, y'all tried to fuck with our lives and take, my husband, our provider, away from not only me, but our children. But then also Brian was a doctor, y'all. He helped heal people. All of the Mennonite community. He was a holistic doctor to the point that, hey, you don't need those pills anymore. Just come on. Let's come over here, get some work out of Brian. And he's going to help. He's going to help people. And Brian did help people. Brian was very good at his job. So there's so many people in this area that want to know the truth about what happened to Brian Drake, their doctor, the beloved doctor of the community, not just Bonner's Ferry, not just Sandpoint, but Hayden. So we're crossing 3 different counties, okay, who all want this news, who all want to be able to follow this trial. So I'm like, wait a second. Why isn't mainstream media in here throwing their dicks on the table to say, hey, we want to put in a motion so that we can live stream this? What's wrong with that? Wouldn't Jennifer Drake want that? So I'm here to tell Jennifer Drake, the number one thing that you want to do is you want the world to see how you've been wronged so that you can come after as many people as possible that have wronged you. And I'm telling you, on that list, Jennifer Drake believes probably that I wronged her. So I want to talk about that. And if you truly believe that, then you want to play the card that you have, which is, I want the media here. I want the media to expose what me and my family have been through, right? Because I want to collect all these damages. We want that mitigating factor, right? Think about it. Wouldn't you do that? I want the world to see what I've been saying and that nobody's been following along. Nobody's cared. And all I see is nobody wants to talk about this case. Like, there's been nobody on the media saying, guess what? In 30 days, that case that we talked about, the chiropractor getting murdered by another chiropractor, it's going to civil trial. Have you guys seen it? I know I haven't seen it. I don't live in Idaho, though, but I pay attention to the Idaho news. I haven't seen it anywhere on the news. Why would the widow, Jennifer Drake, who this is her video, I'm doing this for her. Why would the widow ask for Why would the widow ask for all of our help, want to put this out to the news, and then it comes down to crunch time, and we don't want to have the cameras in the courtroom? It doesn't make sense. So I'm thinking maybe I need to do a live to help Jennifer Drake have that like confidence. Jennifer, there are so many people out there, including myself, that are rooting for the truth. Like, what happened to your husband, right? Don't you guys want the truth? If you want the truth, like, say it in the chat. Contact somebody like, hey, we want to know what happened here, because we were the people during a horrible time where we were told that there was a gunman on the loose running up and down the streets, right? In Bonner's Ferry, dressed in black. They were armed, dangerous, don't approach them, right? So much so that they told Jennifer to, hey, turn around, don't come here, it's dangerous. Turn around, go home. So Jennifer, I want to provide you with as much as it possible to help you win your case. Well, first thing is that I think you need to sever ties with Alora Gatel. I think that you were spot on when you wrote, or didn't write, but when you were interviewed, and you said that you thought that Alora Gatel had a thing for your husband, and that Alora Gatel could have been talking so much about Brian Drake, your husband, that it upset her husband to the point that he wanted to shoot him and kill him because he was so sick and tired of hearing about how awesome your husband is. And that David Gatel could never be that man. So, cheers to Mouse. Woohoo! And so that was one of your initial statements to the police, that you thought that Alora Gatel's husband had enough of hearing about how awesome your husband was. Okay. And so much so that what was weird about it is that I think that you should be blaming the police to say, I told you that. And then you ask me, meaning if I was Jennifer, to say to the police, and then you're asking me about Caleb Kakao and Azara, who was with Alora that night, where I was told from Alora that her husband was the one that was with Alora at that appointment that night. And you want to revert back to your interview with police when you said that Alora told you that it was her and her husband that went to the appointment, not her and her brother. And I think that is super, super important for you, Jennifer, because you want to show the police and the jury that you were lied to by Alora within the first few days, to say, oh, that was me and my husband. We were at that appointment, trying to keep her brother from actually being with them, because her brother was of that Hawaiian descent, dark figured, whereas the man that she was married to, he was white and 60. You know what I mean? So, Jennifer, if I'm you, I'm over here like, this bitch has lied to me, has lied to the police. And when I told you guys that I thought that this woman, could it be possible that her husband had killed Brian due to the fact that Alora was infatuated with Brian, you're right on the money there. You're right on the money, Jennifer. And you said these things to the to these detectives. You said these things so much so that you said it so early on. You had an issue with Alora. You had an issue with Alora because you thought things were weird. Okay. But then if you would have actually read and listened to the interviews in the discovery, you would have found out that, whoa, wait a second. she told me, meaning Jennifer, Eldora told Jennifer that I was there with my husband. And at first, nobody can understand why that would be important. Okay. But this is where it gets important, is because Eldora's husband isn't Hawaiian. Eldora's husband is white, a white ass white man, like white as fuck, a logger. All right. He's white. And if Jennifer's over here thinking that Eldora is there with her husband, right? Not her brother who's Hawaiian, that when Isaac Funderburg starts to talk about seeing a Hawaiian or a dark-skinned man that's running up along, that in Jennifer's mind isn't fitting the description of Kayla or of David Gatchell, who's white as fuck, right? So if I'm Jennifer, I'm going with all of this. I'm going with the fact that Eldora Gatchell came to my house unexpected on Sunday, March 15th. And she came over with her family unexpected, made my whole family feel uncomfortable as fuck. Okay. And to the point that they were playing the ukulele in my house. Murky Piglet, let's chat and let's hit that goal. Woo! 19-month. Oh, you've been on her for 19 months? Look out, Carson. Oh. Chat, let's hit that goal. You know, let's hit it. Look at those two. Love them to death. You guys, this is really important because I think that when Jennifer's team is going to be going into this trial, they need to wrap themselves around the fact that, holy shit, we were lied to. We were lied to by Eldora Gatchell. And where can you point all of these things out? Because like I've said from the beginning, I thought that a woman put up a billboard and she wanted the community's help. But then I saw like she wanted the community's help for the evidence that the state was missing to be able to convict Dan Moore because they can't use this false confession anymore, right? Well, I come along and I'm like, holy shit, I think that Dan Moore isn't the one. The police have totally botched this. And I'm under the impression that Dan Moore and Jennifer Drake, they should be teaming up and suing the living fuck out of the police who have royally fucked all of this up. Whoa. Like, why would that be such a fucking like hard concept to get around? Like, wow. We've been lied to. So here, is there a chance in hell that Eldora Gatchell and Jennifer Drake were not working together at all, right? And then we get to this big problem, but I have a way for you, Jen. Jennifer Drake gets a phone call from her husband's cell phone at 17 and 45 seconds. Okay. And something that's interesting is Eldora Gatchell on the records. We're going to be able to see one day. Actually, I think I already put it out here, but Eldora is basically lying to the police. Thank you, Alice. Woo! Yes. Eldora tells the police that she arrives at 6:03 for an appointment with Brian Drake and that she gets in her vehicle then to leave and that there's this white truck there, right? And that this white truck is blocking her from leaving, from being able to leave, and that she has to go out a different way. Awesome. Well, once the police would have done their police work, they would have realized that, whoa, there was never a white truck there. So Eldora Gatchell just lies about there being a white truck. But literally within a minute and 30 seconds, a white truck emerges and is now doing exactly what Eldora Gatchell said it did a minute and 30 seconds ago when the pilot was still there. So here you want to disengage yourself, just like, hey, Eldora's on her own island here. And that's where you need to put it. You need to put Eldora on her own island, okay? Eldora lied to the police about very, very important shit. Jennifer Drake's lies was about embarrassment, okay? I'm not going to tell the police about shit that happened 12, 15 years ago. That doesn't matter. Who cares about what my husband did 12 or 15 years ago in Texas, okay? And by the way, think about this. Like, I'm not thinking about telling the police every little fight that I ever had with my husband and that they need to know that. All right. Like, why would anybody need to do that? I would never do that. Y'all would never do that. So Jennifer Drake shouldn't be held to these standards to tell the police every little thing. Right. So let's come back to this part though. The only issue I see Jennifer running into is, Brian Drake was shot and dead before 7/17. That's what's going to come out that really is going to hurt Jennifer. Up and until this part, Jen. If I'm Jennifer Drake, I come clean. I come clean with the facts. And the facts were, Jennifer, you told the police, should you worry? Should you worry that the person that did this to your husband is going to come for you and your children? You said, should I close the blinds? And I didn't know if that was like a pun, like to say like that. It was kind of funny, like, because her husband got shot through the blinds that were closed. Like, I didn't know if Jen was just fucking with them. And so cheers to Jen on that one. But truth be told, she said, should I worry that the person that killed my husband is going to come for myself and our kids, right? And on 316, they're like, I mean, we're really, what, huh? Like, no. Jen, come clean. Tell them why you said that. Tell them how Eldora Gatel was the person that called you at 7:17 p.m. using Brian Drake's phone, and that she threatened the fuck out of you, and that she said that you're going to call the police and this is what you're going to say. And you're probably like, wait, huh? You want me to do what? Well, if you didn't have anything to do with this, Jen, that's the only way. Otherwise, you would have had something to do with this, because then you would have been talking to a dead person, because Brian Drake was shot way before 7/17. But I believe, with my detective skills, that if I was to give you the same grace that I was to give the Moores, the people sometimes don't always tell the truth, right? Because of the fear of a lot of things. Especially when you talk about the fear of your family, right? So Jennifer Drake, I am giving you the gift of a lifetime, because I believe in the truth. And you said some things in your interview that really, really, really strongly portray the fact that you thought it was weird that law enforcement's calling you, asking for Brian Drake's cell phone number, and they weren't even to it. Like, Brian Drake wasn't even found yet. Your husband, he wasn't found. The medics weren't with him when they told you that they were, Jen. They said, hey, medics are with him. The sheriff just wants his cell phone number. And you're like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. Why would the sheriffs want his cell phone number? Like, if you're with him, you would just ask him this and he would give you his cell phone number. And you're right, Jen. You're right. So Jennifer, please, by God, I'm telling you, your instincts were right. They were right in the beginning. Eldora Gatel 100% knows who killed your husband and you felt some type of way. So much so that you said these things, and then the lies that just, not by you, Jen. The only thing that Jen was not being honest about, and I'm not going to sit here and blame her for it because I wouldn't want to talk about it either. And that would be, I'm not going to sit here and you're asking me about something right now. You think that I think that my husband was killed over something that happened 10 or 15 years ago? Nope, sure don't. When I saw that Jennifer Drake did not put Alora Gatel on her witness list, I said, there's a chance and I need to come and be clean with it. And so if I, thank you so much, Kelly. Cheers. Kelly, woo! Tell the truth, Jennifer. Listen to Lana. Oh, member for 15 months. Woo! I just want the truth. I don't want anybody railroaded in a courtroom. I don't want anybody's words twisted. That would be the Moores. That would be Jennifer Drake's. That would be the police. I don't want anybody's words twisted so that somebody says, I won this case, or fuck all that, man. This isn't about winning and losing. This is about kids that don't have a father. A widow. There's a widow now, right? And then I'm telling you, I've read the discovery. I would have been friends with Brian Drake. Brian Drake would have been my friend. Brian Drake, if I would have ever crossed paths with that man, literally would have been a friend of mine. Because me and Brian Drake, I just feel like would have totally bonded. If Brian Drake was ever cracking my back and he was telling me about somebody's fine ass, I would have been like, hell yeah. Like, we would have just been laughing. You know what I mean? And people could be like, well, yeah, that's just sick. No, what I'm trying to tell you is that I wouldn't have twisted Dr. Drake into being some perv if he wasn't a perv in my mind. I would have been like, he's talking to somebody that he trusts enough to say these things to. And that I wouldn't put him out on Front Street like he's some fucking sick ass person. So I just look at this big picture here and I'm like, okay, well, listen, there's a trial that's like literally right around the corner, to the point that there's going to be kids in that courtroom that were once minors, but now enough time has passed that some of them are adults, but they were minors when this happened. And I don't think it's fair for those kids to think that Karen and Dan Moore are murderers or killers, or that they've been like covering for each other. But I also don't think it's fair for them to think that their own mother had something to do with their own father's death. Okay? But I do believe that Jennifer Drake was threatened in some type of way because of the comments that she made. I do believe that the police lied to Jennifer Drake. How do I know that? Well, because at 7:44, when Jennifer Drake is saying, they called me back. There's phone records of it. They called me back. They said that the sheriff's, the sheriff wants Brian Drake's cell phone number and the medics are with Brian. Jennifer Drake says that that's what happened on that phone call. Well, who's going to say that that's not what happened? We better call the dispatcher, right, to the stand to say, yeah, that's what I told Jennifer. But then you're going to ask the dispatcher why they lied, because we know that the medics weren't with Brian, because nobody was with Brian until 7:53 when they were kicking a door down to get to him. Think about that. And they're all going to have to say, and they're going to have to back up and say, wait, so then you did lie to this widow, or soon to be widow. Like at the time you lied to the wife. Why would you tell the wife that people are with them and that they want the cell phone? Who told the medic to ask Jennifer for his cell phone? And then you're going to get to who's covering for Alora Gatel. So is Jennifer Drake truly involved? And my answer is no. My answer is no when you want to say Lana, give the same grace to Jennifer Drake that you would to the Moores. And this is the only way that that's possible. And the only way that it's possible is that the 717 phone call was a threatening phone call. Because I know for a fact that Brian Drake was dead before 717. So then who called Jennifer was on that phone for 9 minutes before she then said that he got shot through the window. And that's going to be Jennifer Drake admitting to this in open court to say that Alora Gatel threatened the fuck out of us, told me to say this, told me what to say to the police, and then I called the police and I told this to them. Because then everything lines up with making sure that they protected Alora Gatel. You understand? If you actually go back through this whole scenario, the person that was always being protected was Alora Gatel and her whole family. But why? Why would Alora Gatel be protected by the police? But guess what? That's not on us. People have said to me, Lana, why do you talk about this case? Like it's gonna, you're giving things to both sides, or you're doing this or you're doing that. I think my channel speaks for itself. My channel is truth and transparency. I'm being truthful and I'm being transparent, and I want people to be truthful. Okay. And if you want to come on my channel, you want to talk about something, or you know about something, then come on here and tell me what you know. Or this is all about the world working the right way. If you see something, say something, right? And the one thing that I will never, ever, ever do for anybody is lie. There's no reason to lie. There's been rumors out there that Jennifer Drake wants to depose me and wants to ask me questions about my involvement with the Moores. There's been rumors out there that that the Moores want to depose me and put out there everything that I know. Fuck all of these rumors. Ask the police. The police have the discovery. Ask the police the tough questions. Stop going at each other. The Moores shouldn't be going at the Drakes, and the Drakes shouldn't be going at the Moores. I've said this so many times. Y'all need to come together and sue the pants off of the goddamn state. And I have no idea why you're not. I have no idea why you're not. The only people that are getting lied to are the two parties in this case. And here they are at wit's end with the other, and over what? Nobody's marriage is perfect. Nobody's a perfect parent. Nobody is a perfect doctor. No. So think about this. Just think about it. Think about that. Why are these two parties truly in this case? And I'm just I am begging Jennifer Drake to take what I am saying, and please, if I was the one that was communicating you for the past year and a half, I would have been literally pumped. I would have been like, hey, Jen, check this out. Brian was lying to you, but he was lying about weird shit. Okay. Then, hey, check this out. Like, Alora is obsessed with your husband. Like, you were right as fuck. But like, Brian was in love with you. Brian didn't want to be with anybody else because Brian could have went and been with other people. Okay. Maybe he made you feel insecure at times. Who doesn't in a relationship? But you guys have been through so much shit. Like, this wasn't like you guys were just starting to be together like a year or two ago, right? So like, what? Like, think about that. Like, can that truly be something that you would even be like in a twizz about your husband, that he wasn't like? No. But at the same time, I'm going to be, if I'm if I'm being real with Jennifer, I'm telling her the same thing I would tell the Moores, don't lie. Jennifer, don't lie. Don't lie for your husband. I get that you want to protect your children, but like you can't lie to your you can't lie to the police. Like, okay, listen, I was trying to protect my kids. I don't want them to know about this stuff. I don't want them to know about this. Da, 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 da. I get that. And I think that this is why you should never talk to a police without a lawyer present. Because they're just going to tell you not to talk to the police. Because everybody goes like this. Twisty. Twist, twist, twist. You know? Anything that you say, it gets twisted. And I truly feel bad for the kids. I don't think the kids should ever be drugged into this. I don't think that any kids should ever be drugged into this. But we have a trial coming up in 25 days, I think. And somebody asked me if I was to ever do the same thing that I did for the Moores. I'm like, what do you think I did for the Moores? I didn't do anything for the Moores. Literally didn't do anything for the Moores. Because if I did something for the Moores, then that means that their own detectives didn't do anything for the Moores. Because if you take a discovery and you're like, here, this is everything that I found. Here it is. Jennifer Drake is on a camera breaking in or attempting to break into Brian Drake's phone 48 hours before the murder. That's a fact. It's right here. Here you go. How did these police officers not find that? You know? And then, so Jennifer Drake's going to have something to say. And what would I say? I would say this, Jennifer. You were afraid. You were afraid of what Brian Drake was involved in. Because what phone did you try to break into? Was it his personal phone or was it his work phone? Because that's going to matter. And I think that if I was you, I would talk about that. I would talk about the fact that why you lied about that there wasn't any passwords on Brian Drake's phone and how you were attempting to break into his phone. But the better question is why didn't the police ask you about it? They found it. You know that damn well they would have had to find it. But they just decided not to do anything about it? That doesn't make any sense. Because you're the first suspect just because of who you are. So again, if I'm trying to be on your side, and I am right now, like I truly am, I would say, why didn't they ever ask you about that? That doesn't make sense. And you're the only person that would know that. Or you could say like, well, they didn't want to ask about anything. I don't know, because then it would lead down to a different road. I don't know. But I'm just trying to say, like, the things that you lied about when you want to talk about, like, why you would lie to the police ever about something. You told the police, Jennifer, that your husband didn't have any passcodes on his phone. That's not true. He did have passcodes on his phone up until 48 hours before his murder. Now, I'm not going to say if I know that there were did you say, God damn it, Brian, see, there's fucking passcodes on this phone and you're not supposed to be doing this because we've already been through this season. I don't know, Jennifer. But how it looks like there were, and you lied to the police because you said that they never had any. And do I think that that's a pretty bad lie 48 hours before he was murdered? I do. I do think that that's bad. Is that way worse than other lies that could be out there? Oh, fuck yeah, I do. I mean, we're talking about the death. You guys have to remember, they're going to trial because of wrongful death, not because of what a YouTuber could have possibly said about Dan, Karen, or Jennifer Drake. Why would I ever be part of this case? Why would Turtleway be part of Karen Reed's case? people trying to drag me into this right now at the 11th hour is very, very interesting. Do you guys think that I should be involved in this case? I don't think so. I didn't know any parties when Brian Drake was murdered in 2020. I didn't even know that fucking Idaho existed. I don't even know what Idaho state capital was. All right. That'd be lying, but I know my capitals. But think about that. Why would I be trying to be drugged into this right now? Like, why would any one of these two parties want to call me into the case? Because I am literally covering the case as a media persona, as a YouTuber, as people want to say. But why would I be involved in this case in any capacity? Because I want to show you guys the truth. Because I'm like, here, look at this document. Here, look at this video. Here, oh my God, can you believe Alora Gatel said this? Can you believe that Jennifer Drake said this? Can you believe, what do you want me to tell you? I showed you guys the whole interview between Dan Moore and Van Leuven. What do you guys want to know? There's 182 people in here. Throw me up a super chat. What do you want to know? What do you think I possess that you want to know, that you think like I'm lying about or I'm not like telling the world about? Listen, Dan Moore didn't kill Brian Drake. I'm telling you that. Dan Moore didn't kill him. That's the truth. Why? Because the evidence supports it. Because, oh, let's talk about this white truck. You guys, the white truck comes literally anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes after this shit happened. I'll tell you that every vehicle flying out of that back area and that's involved with the glass shop that's all over there, Jennifer Drake, her vehicle isn't there. Her vehicle isn't there. Don't be hating. Don't be hating. Possum, thank you so much. Mouse, I think I said thank you, but just want to make sure I got you on that. Thank you, that $10 super chat. Possum, let's fucking go. I don't know. I sit here and I say to myself, like, okay, I don't think that Jen and Brian Drake's sex life or their personal life or their kids, I don't think that should be the, I guess you could say, what this is about, unless that's why Brian Drake was murdered. You know what I mean? It has no relevance, right? But then something that just doesn't make sense to me is the lawyers of the Moores. Like, how could you not call Emily, whatever her last name is, to the stand? Emily is the one that provided you with everything that you put in your complaint. Your complaint that you filed, which was an answer to the count, like it was a counter to Jennifer Drake's suing you. You're suing Jennifer Drake back, and you're basically, everything that you're saying in your complaint is that Jennifer Drake lied to the police. And where are you getting this information from? Well, the information is coming from Emily Zemachek, or whatever her last name is after she got married. Her last name was Miller, because that's Jennifer's maiden name. She became a Miller, or she was a Miller, and then she became a Drake. And then her sister, Emily Miller, became a Zemachek. And it's like, that's where you got everything to do your complaint, your counter to the complaint. So how is an Emily and Matt Zemachek on your witness list? This is telling me that we have incompetency, or I don't have no idea what we have, but everything that you put in your complaint, okay? I'm sorry, not to say complaint. Everything that you put in your answer and then your counter to Jennifer Drake's complaint, like, you're saying all of these things that Jennifer lied about, but yet you're not going to list any of these witnesses that can actually prove this is how you are determining that Jennifer Drake lied, which comes from the criminal discovery of those witnesses with certain police officers. This doesn't make any sense. And then I realized, well, yeah, the original lawyer, Jill Bolton, knew what the fuck she was doing, but a lot of cheddar. Going to cost you a lot to have her. And then you bring in fucking Mo and Curly, you know, the Three Stooges. And the third person is you got Dana, Matt, and Chuck. That's Mo, Larry, and Curly. Yeah, the Three Stooges. And then you've had the case since May of 2024. And the whole time that you had the case, you did nothing. You didn't have one deposition. You didn't file one motion. And then the Moores hire 2 new people. And it's like everyone's running around with their heads cut off. I would go and find other lawyers to use their license. I would never fucking have. I think Dana and Matt should be sued to fucking their pants off. I don't think they should ever fucking practice law again. I think it's so bad that it just literally go and ask, I don't know, anybody who just got their law license, hey, will you just let us use your law license over here in Idaho? But to have these people, because this is just not incompetency with these attorneys, you need to cease everything that's going on with those people and Chuck Schoonover. Like, Jesus Christ, that's the last person that I would ever have testifying on my behalf. You can only ask him when the last time he ate was, and he'll be able to tell you. That's about it. Which you probably should check the receipt because he might be lying about the place that he went to. But Jennifer, Eldora Gatel, you were right. And please, I implore you, please, please, please. Don't help her out. Don't help her out. That's my advice to Jennifer, is that's your out. And when I say you're out, like, that's what I would say, like, to the Moores. What's your out to the Moores, Lana? Well, my out to the Moores that there was no white truck when Eldora Gatel was saying that there was a white truck there. There is no white truck there. And then I realized that Eldora Gatel's vehicle leaves before then a white truck does come and plants its ass right there. And I'm like, wait a second. How does Eldora know about that white truck? Well, because she's still there. And because she left in a different vehicle, because there was a different vehicle involved. And it was Sonia. And I told all of these motherfuckers all of this shit. All of it. All of it. And how do you going to sit here and tell me that I'm wrong when I'm saying just watch the video? It's on the fucking video. I'm not wrong. If I'm blind, I'm wrong. But if you want, you're fucking wrong, man. It's on the video. Watch the goddamn video. There's no fucking truck there. And so how do you think you're going to tell a jury there's a truck there when there's not a truck there? They're not going to believe you. But you can go ahead and do it. That's why I was laughing when they're stipulating to the fact of let's get these videos in. I'm like, why is everybody stipulating to videos? I would be stipulating to shit. This is crazy. This is a case that needs to be like decided by the facts, not by 2 attorneys saying we're going to stipulate to stuff. Alice Wonders, thank you so much. Lana, you are an amazing human. No, Lana, you are extraordinary as an investigator, plus a timeline bulldog. You are truth for so many. The truth helps both sides. Jennifer Drake deserves the truth too. Like, I don't get it. But guess what lawyers want to tell you? No, we can't talk about that because that kind of ruins our case a little bit. What case? What are you talking about, man? I want to know who killed my husband. I want to know who killed the father of my husband. And you want me to say that I shouldn't talk about things because it's going to it's going to make you look bad. You know, if we are to be held to everything that we've ever said in life, that we couldn't be mistaken on something, you know, give some grace to people. And I'm giving it to Jennifer Drake tonight. You know why? Because Jennifer Drake said numerous times Don't quote me on this date. Don't quote me on this time. Don't like that's what everybody should say to people. Don't quote me on this. I think it was this. I think it was that. Like you're asking me about something and then you want to throw me to the wolves on what I say right then and there. And this is why people tell you not to talk to anybody without a lawyer present. Because every lawyer should be objecting to the form of the question. I object to, no, don't answer that. I'm objecting. You want a certain time frame. My client is clearly saying that they don't know that. They just know that this, yep, they recognize that, but they don't know. Like, so and it's just because people don't. So Jennifer, you truly asked and you wanted a billboard up there and you wanted to find information because you're like, listen, we already know who killed my husband. We need more information in order to fucking nail him. Well, Jennifer, guess what? I promise you there is no more information on that. I promise you on everything. The information leads back to, unfortunately, either putting it on you, which I tend not to think that. I tend to think that you were threatened. I think that you're going to have to explain the whole 911 with your cell phone. I think that's going to be, I think you're going to have to explain that. Or somebody's going to have to get up there and explain the fact that 911 calls aren't registered on cell phones. But I believe that you were threatened. I believe that you may have to come clean with some things that maybe Brian was involved in. I don't know. But just look out for you and your kids. Fuck everything else, Jennifer. It's just you and your kids. That's all that matters. That's my advice. My advice is to, if you trust your lawyers, tell your lawyers. If you don't trust your lawyers, then you probably shouldn't be with them. But you always need to tell your lawyers the truth. And then they're going to advise you. But they also can't knowingly let you lie. You know what I mean? Like, oh, don't talk about that. No. Your gut told you about Alora Gatel literally day one. Please think about that. Your gut wasn't wrong about Alora Gatel. I have no idea why she was involved in your husband's murder, but I know for a fact she was. I know for a fact Alora Gatel knows who the fuck killed your husband. She was there. Nobody, when the last person to see your husband alive lies to the police about what car they left in and how they would know about a white truck. Why I believe that if you did talk to your husband, okay, think about it. Think about this. Your husband has lied to you so many times. Why wouldn't your husband continue to lie? Hey, pick up the phone right now. Talk to Jen. Tell her this. Is that what you're going to try to say? Okay, because Alora was still there. Alora and her brother did not get into that pilot. There's evidence of that. There's evidence of that because you wrote it in your complaint. Remember when Alora told you that she was there and that when Jennifer, you know what I know what I'm talking about. Listen, please. She told you that she went first in the chair. She said, I went first and then Caleb went second. And she said, during the time of that switch, I got out of like the laying down on getting my back, whatever. And then he went and when I got out, I was then sitting and she mentions about, yeah, I thought that there was a truck that pulled up to that, passing the window. Okay. Go back and listen to that interview. I'm telling you, you put it in your complaint for a reason because Alora Gatel was your witness. She was the one. And Caleb, who's dead now, said that they saw this truck there from 6:42 until 7:17. It's funny that there was no truck there from 6:42 until 7:17. The truck comes at 7:18 and 52 seconds. So literally the time frame that you were putting in your complaint, there is no truck there. Like the videos were going to show you this. The videos that the jury is going to see is going to show you this. The videos of the jury is going to see that why did Leslie Lehman just omit the movements of Aldora's pilot than to see that how did she know about a white truck if she was already gone? Well, let's just not even talk about that. Let's not talk about when the pilot leaves that has Alora Gatel, because then guess what? You're Jennifer, you're a smart woman. You're a Christian. Dan Moore didn't kill your husband. And if you're everything that you say you are, you would never want to live with yourself for the rest of your life, knowing that you went to trial, even if it was a civil trial, and that you spoke about knowing that he's the killer of your husband. You need to tell the truth. Everything that you have in your possession and why you think that Dan Moore is the killer is because the police told you that. And you need to say those things. You need to really, truly emphasize those things. That you did your March 24th interview with the media. We know who killed him. Who's the we? Emphasize the police. The police told you all of these things, Jennifer. I know they did. Your text messages, your phone records show you that the police and you were constantly in contact. You know that that's what's in discovery. Please, I'm urging you. I don't want to see your children without a mother. They've already lost their father. They don't need to lose you. That's not what's best for those kids. What's best for those kids is that you're in their lives. And the way that I think that you will remain in their lives is to tell the truth about Alora Gatel. Please. That's all I have to say. Thank you. So, Christina says, Bella needs to know that was the best rant ever. I could listen to her rant about Delphi all night. Presumed guilty is insane. Love you guys. Thank you. I'll let her know. Lana's giving you an out, in my opinion. Wow. Well, maybe, but I'm also giving grace. I look at it as giving grace. Good advice, Lana. Girl, I have to interrupt to tell you that, are you going to get Alan out? They found stuff on prosecutor. Thank you, Shay. I look at this. I'm not getting somebody out. I'm just helping them to get the truth out. Just enough of all of this crap. Lana is so humble, going to make me cry. I'm just enough of seeing all of these fucking people ruining people's lives based off of what law enforcement is telling you, and that you're taking it as the holy fucking Bible, man. It's just not. I just truly hope for the best for both families. And unfortunately, I tried for a year and a half to get the truth to come out, and I put all my eggs in the basket of truth, which was, here's the video surveillance cameras, here's everything. I'm the last person that you'd ever wanted to pose, to say what? Here, this is what I've shown. This is what I've shown on my channel. I don't know, this just doesn't seem right to me, but good luck to both sides, and may the truth prevail. If it comes down to the jury deciding this case, I do believe that Jennifer Drake will win. That's what I think. I think that Jennifer Drake will win. You know why? Because the jury always believes the plaintiff's side. So that's unfortunately my prediction, is that Jennifer Drake will win. But it's going to cost her a lot to win, which could be prison, and I don't want that for her. So Who would ever want to win a civil case and then go to prison? Good night, guys. Take care. This November 29th, 4 people that were murdered, and you want to fuck around. You got 8 families that are being affected by this, and they just mean nobody from the university.
Shock value. And so what he did was he had taken pictures California.
Oh, you're from I would be outraged if I live in Moscow right now. I'd be lighting some cars on fire out there. I'd be flipping some cars. I'd get the frats going wild. Let's get some noise complaints going. Lana's not leaving just yet, bees. All right, here we go. I did it. This one goes out to Carson's hockey's mom for life. So I got your Q&A. Here we go. Q&A. What do you guys got? I hope you met half your goal. We met the goal. So here we go. Q&A. Hold on. Watch this. We'll have her start. You can start the Q&A. And it's up for 13 minutes here. So here we go. 13-minute clock. I love the number 13. 13 minutes Q&A. So here we go. For those of you guys that stuck around, what's up? What do you want to know? Here's your Q&As. Go at it. You don't even know that answer. Ah, there you go. Oh, here we go. Cheers. So what's up? Let's go. What do you got? What do you got? Please tell me why Eldora wanted him unalived. As far as why I think that, I don't know why she wanted him unalived. I'd actually have to look a little deeper as to who else was in some of those vehicles. So there's a chance that Eldora could say that like we were walking out and everybody was ambushed and we were threatened just like Jennifer was threatened. So we all kept our mouths shut, you know? So if I'm giving grace here tonight, that's the grace I'm going to give. I think that you really need to look at the last person that was calling Brian Drake's phone back to back. Next question. TN Sapphire, Atlanta, you are the GOAT. You have no idea how much you mean to all of us and finding the real truth. We absolutely love you. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Cheers. What is up, Jen Madison? Good to see you in here. Has Jen changed the floorboards? That's a really good question. I think that we're going to have to find out if Jen changed the floorboards. We're going to have to probably do an Airbnb and check it out. Maybe Jen will give us a discount after my latest live here. She's going to say, wow, that was really, I appreciate that. I don't know. She's going to be like, you went hard at me for a year and a half. Jen, I'm still going to go hard at you, or I could be with you. I told you I would. Listen, tell me that you didn't do it, right? And that, okay, listen, if you're watching everything that you're throwing down, wow, Dan didn't either. This is crazy, Freckle Gemini says, you the only one pulling from my bank every month. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Is that your question? Someone says, don't be hating. Says, who was the last person calling him? It was a meth local dealer out of Sandpoint. If they look at the phone records, they should be able to figure that out. I'm not going to reveal anything by that. Kelly says, love the hair, babe, by the way. Oh, yeah, it's all there. Who else? You guys have 11 minutes left here on the Ask Anything. And due to the delay, I will say it. I'd certainly want you on my side, Lana. So many people say that to me. I'm like, listen, if you didn't do anything, you want me on your side, I will find it. Or I'll at least be able to say that it ain't there, meaning like there's nothing against you. Some people love that. Some people hate that. But I feel like why wouldn't, I don't know. I run my mouth maybe, but at the same time, it's all like I'm passionate. Like, of course I'm going to run my mouth. You cocksuckers. TN says, I would too. I know. I don't know. Meth dealer could have threatened all of them. Who did it, Lana? Who did it? What if I thought that Brian Drake committed a assisted suicide because they needed the money? I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios out there. There's just a lot of things out there. How about this? Lana, did Dan Moore do it? No, Dan Moore didn't do it. Is that how people? I don't know. But Dan Moore didn't kill Brian Drake. I don't know. Meth dealer could have threatened all of them. The thing that's interesting is when Jennifer Drake says that the dispatch says that the sheriff wanted Brian Drake's. I do know this. I will tell you this, is that 5 people in this world know who killed Brian Drake. Brian Drake, he's dead. So Caleb Kakoa Nazara, he's dead. So 2 people dead. Eldora Gatchel knows who killed Brian Drake. 100. Those 3. So 1 person alive there. Sonia Henchcliffe knows who killed Brian Drake. And then if Eldora Gatchel told her husband, David Gatchel knows. Next up. Lana, I want you on my side if ever needed. Thank you, January 24th. Silent G says, why was Caleb in the States anyways? When did he arrive at Truth and Transparency? Very good question. So all I know is that based on just when I say like what I know, I can prove. I can prove that Caleb Kakoa Nazara is the brother of Eldora Gatchel. He was in and living with Eldora Gatchel and for some time. He then, after the murder of Brian Drake, went with Sonia to Virginia where Sonia lived. And he was there then, and that's where he died. He died in 2023. I don't know what he died of. I don't. I know I have his, it was put out online. I put it out. His funeral was live broadcast on YouTube. I found that. I put that out there for you guys. But it's to say, like, what his cause of death, I don't know. I just know that Jennifer said in an interview that he had supposedly, he was on dialysis. I don't know if that's true. I do know that he made some statements about if you mess with kids, that we are all part of the church here and we all take care of our kids so that we will have no problem taking out perverts, basically. And it was after the death of Brian Drake that he made those comments. So I thought that was interesting. You can go and find that on his Facebook page, on his Instagram. I put that out there as well. Wouldn't Isaac know who killed him as well? No, not necessarily. Isaac is personally what Isaac brings to the table is this time frame, the timeline. Stephen Hartman brings to the timeline of when Brian Drake was killed. So does Isaac Funderburg know who killed Brian Drake? No, but he could identify the person that was running from Brian Drake's little area, and that person, he is willing to testify. I interviewed the motherfucking dude. It was not Dan Moore. That's not who the guy. You guys heard the interview that he did with the police. He put it out there. I put it out there. He was dark complected, and he had facial hair, a beanie, all black on with a silver vest. Then I showed you guys Caleb Kakoa Nazara's video, and I said, "This is to a T, who this is." And the police knew this. I mean, here you go. Look at this. I mean, it's just right here. Tell Jen how she could end up in prison. Like, how, why? Like, look at this. Look at this. To a T. All black, with the beanie on, with the facial hair, with the silver vest. I mean, come on. Like, I'm not sure I get the logic is behind your change of mind behind the guilty party. No, I think you need to reread the name of the live, which is Jen's Secret Hand. This is me giving Jennifer Drake the grace that I'm giving anybody that would be in a situation like, here, Jen, this is what I think that you have to go with. If you didn't have anything to do with this based on the evidence, this is your play. Otherwise, it looks like you are involved. 100. This is your, as somebody said, you're out. So I'm being fair as fuck to say that if Jennifer Drake wasn't involved, this is how. So there's no change in logic of anything like, but I think it's funny that Ponytails has never commented before. So I feel like Ponytails is trying to get more out of me. And so I have to say this, chef's kiss. Now take a look at this video. This is, somebody should Google what this song means. There's Caleb right here. Caleb, start playing, I'm recording. Like, this is what they turned over to the police to say, like, we were there and I can't believe it. Like, this is a video I got. Do you understand that this video is what got literally, like, is what can prove that Dan Moore isn't the guy that's seen running? Because this is right here, silver vest, all black beanie. Who we would have never known what Caleb Kakoa Nazar was wearing that night had this video never been turned in by who? Eldora. The life insurance payout motive was logical. Duh. Sounds good. I'm not even going to fucking entertain this person. You're dealing with way more than what motive is.
Over, like, right over in this vicinity.
Okay.
And then there was a guy that ran, come here, from the edge of this building.
Okay.
Out, and he went up the street.
Okay.
And my husband yelled at him. He's like, hey, was that you? And he just started taking off.
Okay.
So he tried to...
So there was a shot over here somewhere?
Yeah, like over here. And then he ran from, like, the edge of this building, the window building.
Okay.
And took up off that street where the cops got.
All right. Nobody here, though, right?
No.
You're fine here?
We're fine.
Okay, go lock yourself up there.
Come here.
Back towards you. Copy. I'm going to get out on foot and just checking behind these buildings in case.
Okay, please take a look at something right here. Right here at the beginning. Ready? Look at where Aaliyah Sandlin is pointing to where she heard the gunshots, which was all the way to the left side of the building.
Shot over, like, right over in this vicinity.
Okay.
And then there was a guy that ran, come here, from the edge of this building.
Okay, ready? Watch.
Okay.
Out, and he went up the street.
Okay.
And my husband yelled at him. He's like, hey, was that you? And he just started taking off.
Okay.
So he tried to...
So there was a shot over here somewhere?
Yeah, like over here. And then he...
Over here, not pointing to the window that supposedly was shot out from right in front of this broad's house right here to say, wow, we heard a gunshot and then all this glass exploded. Okay, that's not what was said at all. She's pointing to back in the area, which is to the left of the building, which is back by the, like, dark area. Okay, dark to the left. That's by the glass shop. Just letting everybody know that where the window that was blown out is literally, like, right to the right of where she's pointing in this little, between the two buildings. And it's just music to my ear to truly see this and hear this. And when you want to, like, question somebody on, like, what they're talking about, right there was your window. Like, right there. You would have seen this fucking guy shoot a gun through the window.
Ran from, like, the edge of this building, the window building.
Okay.
and took up off that street where the cops got.
All right. No, nobody here though, right?
No.
You're fine here?
We're fine.
Okay, go lock yourself up there.
Come here.
Back towards you. Copy. I'm gonna get out on foot and just checking behind these buildings in case anybody's down.
Well, I know those people called.
She called.
Yep.
Talked to her, but what were they saying about this place?
That's where they think they heard the shot from. And that's what she initially told me. So.
See, okay, so right here, this guy asks, what were they saying about this place, talking and pointing to the address of Brian Drake's building? What were they saying about this address? Okay. And they said, well, what were they saying about this address? That's what the other guy is saying to the guy that's wearing the body cam. He doesn't answer that question. And the answer to that question is the wife called in and said her husband was shot through a window. Okay. And here's the address. That's why this address is in play. So get the fuck up in that address. And here, this is these guys talking on a body cam about this shit.
Yeah, it's that old.
Right here. 6811 is right here. Now this motherfucker rolls up 20 literally minutes later after it's already gone over to say 6811. 6811's right here. Like, listen to this shit. It's all live.
Venice office. Brandon and I walked through there. We came all the way back around through.
Brandon and I walked through there. Brandon Johnson and I walked through there. So wait, you've already been over there, Alan Schlaff. Like, you guys are going to have a field day on cross-examination. What do you mean you walked through here? You walked through there and you didn't notice the shot through the window that everybody else noticed right away? Man, if you break this dude's body cam down, this is absolutely crazy. And I'm here to help two families. Jennifer Drake, it's Jennifer Drake's Lifeline. Here it is, Jennifer. These dudes are lying their asses off, or they're just horrible at their job and then lying.
Here, so
she's given that as the address where the RP is, or that guy. Doesn't make any sense.
She told me that she was
Doesn't
sitting
make
out
any
here.
sense.
She heard the shot. I was standing in front of this old building, this old accountant's office. When the shots went off, she hollered at him, and he goes, "Was that you?" And I took off running up my El Paso.
So there's another house right here that's newly, they just moved into it. It was where,
the one on this side?
just
or?
on the other side of the fence on the right. So let's go check. It's off El Paso.
Yeah, make sure there's no casings or
But
something
there's a
laying back
car
in
there I
there.
didn't recognize, so.
Okay.
Okay, right here, do you see the light right there, like straight dead onto your screen? That's the light, like that's the window, or I'm sorry, the door rather, that you'd have to walk right to where that light is right there to walk right into the building and to get in the back way to get into Brian Drake's building.
What do you got?
And then right there to the left, right when he says, wait, what do you got? Because it went over and these three dudes are literally just sitting in a truck saying, wait, what do you got? I got a guy down. Like, just still sitting there. Like, nobody's running to try to get into the building. This guy just says, what do you guys got? And there's a car or SUV sitting. I mean, this is unbelievable. And it's horrible that Jennifer Drake should ever have to see this, but I'm telling you, these officers lied.
Okay. This is a chiropractor office. Got a body down? Okay.
Got a body down. This is all staged.
Okay. Sheriff's office!
They had no choice but to then, the guy that has this body cam on has to like go because that new SUV just pulled up and he's like, well, I'm going to go around here. I'm going to go around here. And that's when Alan Schleff has to start booking it. Okay. And, oh wait, what do you guys got over there? What do you guys got over there? Like, I mean, this is wild. Please go watch the rest of this. It just pains me to see that nobody can fucking add 1 + 1 = 2.
Cover that door.
Confirming all units address.
Okay, we're gonna kick it.
Kick it. I'll go in.
Ready? Hold the door. Hold the door. I'll pull my foot out. Okay, hold on that door. Hold on it. Anybody else in here?
One dead.
He's still warm, but I would say he's down. There's a bullet hole coming through there.
I don't see a wound.
I don't either. Alright, is that all clear? Okay, so why don't we stay? Let's clear that. Somebody, why don't you hold on this?
All right, today is Friday, March 13th, 2020. By my watch, it is approximately 13:50. We are here at 661 Main Street, Monastery, Idaho. We are in the second floor apartment on the west side of Highway 2 in Mr. Isaac Spain Ireland's home and Miss Aaliyah Sandelin, thank you, home. We are here with Miss Aaliyah Sandelin. I'm Idaho State Police Detective Richard Alderson. With me,
Detective Leslie Lyman.
Aaliyah Sandelin.
all right, do you mind if I call you Miss Aaliyah? Miss Lee, if you will, if you can just starting on Thursday, March 12th, approximately 18:30, or sorry, 6:30. My apologies. Start around 6:30 and just kind of fill us in what you observed.
Okay, so 6:30 we were sitting on our couch watching some TV, and on the south side of us is the Les Schwab building. There was a vehicle that was parked behind cars that were parked correctly in the parking lot. There was a person that was getting in and out of their car for a little while, and so I asked my fiance if he thought it was weird, and he just got up and looked, and then after that they left. Later on, about 7:30ish, there was a gunshot when I was cooking dinner, and my fiance was outside putting license plates on my car that I had just gotten.
Approximately how much later was that?
Which part?
From the time you saw it till when you took it. About what time was it?
The gunshot went off, and I ran outside to make sure my fiance was okay, and I yelled at him and said, "Are you okay?" And he peeked around the corner from my vehicle at the end of the building, and he said, "Yeah." And then we both looked over kind of as he was walking towards me. I was on the porch, and he was below the porch on the pathway. Then we both looked over, and there was this man that was going between two buildings on a little pathway that led up to a parking lot.
So would you mind, when you looked over, can you explain exactly where you were looking over at?
I was on the porch, so I was up a little higher so I could see, and I looked over towards, it's an old dentist office building that's right next to the Far North coffee shop, and he was coming from behind the building and going towards a glass shop building and like walking along it. And then at that point, when we had seen him step out onto the concrete, my fiance yelled at him and he said, "Hey," and then he said, "Was that you?" And he didn't reply. And then he said, "What are you doing?" And the man replied and said nothing. At that point, he had like reached his right or his left hand up to kind of like peek his hoodie back just a little bit to see who was looking at him and talking to him. And then after that, he kind of just walked really fast up through the wood shop building and the glass building. And then at that point, my fiance had told me to let the dogs out. And so I let the dogs out, and he was going to go try and take a picture of the man to show the police if it was something suspicious.
Okay, and if you will, let's back up to when you initially see the figure behind the dentist, the former dentist's office. Can you describe clothing, body type, etc.?
It was a little heavier set. He was wearing black sweatpants and a black, I thought it was kind of a silky jacket. I'm not quite sure on that, but he did have a beanie on. Okay. I know that for sure. But he like pulled, I think he had a hoodie on, his hoodie on.
Right.
But don't quote me. And he like peeked it back because I saw him pull it back to look over his shoulder to see me and Isaac. And then that's when he kind of just looked back at his direction that he was going and went around.
And you said what color was the jacket?
It was black.
Black. So black jacket, black sweat.